That's not a bad idea. I will stay here and wait for news from...
The wind rises.
You two look kind of familiar. It's the symbol of the Mutual Aid Network. From what I've heard, it's based on something called a Medal of Peace. I've never seen one of those. The first president of our network, all of us have a...
Interested in joining the Mutual Aid Network? If you'd like to learn more, here... A slogan may have... Here, this...
Anything you need? Oh, this? Are you interested in joining?
What's that?
We have a very long history. Going back, we have never had many. Helping each other is our purpose. At the same time,
Sounds like a pretty neat organization.
but people won't.
We should have gathered enough information. Let's head back and talk to Nevillette.
Quit following me.
Did you manage to gather any intel?
The people who wore the badges belong to an organization called the Mutual Aid Network. According to them, the badge's design was inspired.
I personally crafted 2 of them myself. They were awarded to Carol in Vautrin. Carol's medal was destroyed in a fire. The only one that remains should belong to Vautrin.
Oh, so the network was inspired by...
Monsieur Nevillette, His Grace has requested your presence in his office. He's found down...
All right.
Behold!
Gentlemen, Dominic, why don't you explain everything to him?
Nevillette? What do you want? What are you gonna do?
Calm down. I merely want to ask you a few questions. Was it your idea to send that letter to a Melusine? Hassan has already confessed, so there really isn't any...
That idiot! I can't believe I trusted him.
Let me ask this another way. It was your idea to send that letter, correct?
Yeah.
Who is pulling your string?
What? You're not trying to frame me for something I haven't done, are you?
It's best if you realize the gravity of your situation. The Chief Justice of Fontaine has been, I assume, your previous attempt to incite unrest at the fortress.
I admit I acted on impulse. I'll tell you the truth.
I can do that.
You see, we're all reasonable.
I only intended to do some small business at first. Someone contacted me about delivering some goods and promised me a generous sum of money. After making a few trips, I was suddenly approached by the Marechaussee Phantom. They accused me of smuggling prohibited items, and I was put on trial. But I refused to accept any of that. The ignorant can be rightfully absolved from guilt, right? Well, I suspect that someone got me locked up here so they could get their hands on my goods.
And then you decided to take revenge on the Melusines? Over that?
My initial target was Nevillette. Everyone in the fortress of Meropide was declared guilty by him, after all. So they must more or less hold a grudge against him, right? If I could get them to strike back... but for some reason no one wanted to team up with me. That mutual aid network in particular. What did those nobodies even gain from— In the end, I had to redirect my focus onto melazines to salvage things. I recall that Kiara was the one who confiscated my goods for inspection, so I asked one of the more approachable guards to send a letter, claiming that I meant to contact my family. But the letter was in fact addressed to Essa. I requested that he write a threat letter to Kiara and force it to resign from the Marechaussee Phantom.
Am I to assume that the claims you've made are your own thoughts? Have you been in contact with any suspicious people recently?
No.
Is it true that all members involved in the smuggling scandal have been caught?
Yes. And that's all I know.
Sijween, please take him back to the detention center. I'll deal with him later. So, Monsieur Nevillette.
Yes. I experienced a similar incident in the past, so I had to be prepared.
And how long ago was this incident?
More than 400 years.
You might be overthinking this. Time can change a lot of things. Everything—
What do you mean?
400 years ago, you and the melazines you brought to Fontaine were the outliers in society. But in the present day, if someone were to threaten the safety of the melazines, people wouldn't just sit back and do nothing.
That's right! We saw lots of people standing up for melazines on our way back to the Palais Mermonia.
Monsieur Nevillette, the melazines are a species you introduced to Fontaine. When people refuse to place their trust— For almost 5 people no longer have— Right now, you're every—
Paimon gets it now. No wonder no one wanted to join forces with Dominico.
I am undeserving of such high— It isn't anything special or worthy of praise. It is unnecessary.
There's no need to— You're no longer—
I must say that— Thank you for—
Huh? You're leaving?
And so soon, too?
Thank you for the offer, but, well, some are here to— The less time I spend here, the better.
In that case, I'll have to insist.
Please, go ahead.
The first is about the guard.
The guard was indeed deployed from the Palais Mermonia's staff. However—
Well, that makes things a lot easier. Hey now, don't let your— Those from up there— I'll have a chat with—
I see no issues.
Great! That's what—
The other thing was poor—
Yep. Never—
I noticed the I've looked into their according to exist— In other words—
What? During his trial, I could sense that his feelings were complicated. He appeared to be full of resentment, and I believe—
Perhaps he had been putting on an act.
An act?
Neuvillette and Vautrin had a close relationship as superior and subordinate. Vautrin must have known that the Chief Justice would make, and thus, the more resentment he displayed, the clearer it would be to those present that you were upholding justice. And to those who had been sitting on the fence, Vautrin's act would— That's all from me.
I don't have it. Well then, let up in conversation, but I have always felt deep regret for what happened to both Carol and Vautrin. The words he spoke in court often replay in my mind, as if urging me on to do something.
But Rizli said he never resented you, right? Isn't that a good thing?
I believe I now understand what he wanted to tell me. I feel conflicted about those words. How should I describe it? Surprise, relief, fear, and regret. But this blend of emotions has led me to finally understand some things. I would like to hear your thoughts, too. What do you think of me?
Paimon agrees with everything Rizli said. As Chief Justice, every single one of your trials, hey!
What I really think is, every trial you've ever judged has left its impression on you. And that's what makes you who you are today.
That is indeed a reasonable assumption. As I said, I find it difficult to express my emotions because I cannot fully understand myself. But I trust your judgment. Since some time ago, I have begun to notice that these changes were not due to any specific occurrence, but emerged as a result of time itself. I will try to contemplate this further. Thank you both.
Oh, huh? It's raining! Oh no, Paimon forgot to bring an umbrella! Come on, let's hurry before it rains harder!
It's raining again? I've had enough of this weather.
There go my travel plans.
Did you read the news this morning? Quick, put away everything on the clothesline.
When is this rain going to stop?
Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
They're planning to reanimate the monster. We have to report this to the Chief Justice.
The Fortress of Meripede. It's a good place for me.
He owes me so many answers.
Nevillete? You could say he's the real symbol of Fontaine's justice.
Watch him closely. He could be trouble.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself!
You will see much in the human world, from the delightful to the depressing. And one day, when you have dwelt among humanity long enough, you will be placed to bring judgment over all as a spokesperson for Fontaine's past.
Good morning, Monsieur Nevillete! The rainy season's almost over! The skies are supposed to clear in a few days!
I hope you find time to enjoy the sunny days ahead.